Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you guys are watching this. Welcome to Doulop's channel. I feel like it's been forever since I've recorded, but it has been 3 weeks because 3 weeks ago I was in Watkins Glen and I was able to record 3 series of videos for you folks. So now I'm getting back into making some videos once a week. A lot has changed in 3 weeks, I gotta be honest with you. A lot of ups and downs, roller coaster, a lot of crying. It's just been life happens sometimes. So long story short, my Volkswagen Jetta, my 2001 Volkswagen Jetta TDI that everyone knows I have, over the past several years it has been a conversation slash not fight but battle between my wife and I of whether or not we should keep the car, because it has 368,000 miles on it, which is a lot. I have seen those cars online have more than that. I've seen a lot of them with much less than that. But as a car gets older, as you guys well enough know, they start needing more parts and more parts and more parts. And a lot of times the parts you buy don't last near as long as the parts that came original in the car. So over the past 12 months, I have probably put close to $2,000 of parts into the car. A lot of those parts are German OEM parts because I wanted it, to last. Some things I just could not afford to do the OEM, so I bought the cheaper ones. But in Pennsylvania, we have inspection that's due every single year. So every single year, every 12 months, you gotta take your car to the shop. They have to do an inspection. They put a sticker on it, and if the inspection fails, you got to fix the things to get it to pass. And once you pass, they put a new sticker on your windshield, and you're good to go for the whole year. So I took my car 2 months early this year to get inspected because I knew that there was something wrong with the front end. The front end started to wobble a lot. Not wobble, but it was definitely felt loose. And I knew there was probably, since the car's so old, it probably needed more things. So I took it to my mechanic and said, hey, I know it's not due until November, but can you please inspect the car, now so I can see what all it needs done. Well, after they inspected it, there ended up being a list of 9 different things that it needed. 4 of those needed done to pass inspection, for a total of $810 just in parts. All the parts it needed, my dad and I could do, no problem. And yes, $810 might not seem like a lot of money. But when you've already put $2,000 into it over the past 12 months, and I knew there was a lot of things it's going to need over the next 12 months. For example, the heater core went out last winter. I didn't have heat anymore. I was smelling a lot of antifreeze, and I knew that was going to need fixed this winter coming up, which it is September 29th right now. So winter is fastly approaching us, and it was going to need replaced. And the heater cores are several $100s to get in there, get the dash all apart, get it all taken care of. I don't know how long the injection pump on these cars last. I've read good, I've read bad. With 368,000 miles, that's a lot of fuel that thing's pushed through there. Once they go bad, even the refurbished ones are over $1,000. The valve cover on my car was leaking oil over the back of the engine. I needed to replace that. That was another $200. It needed a wheel. It needed a wheel bearing. It needed all new motor mounts, which I just replaced the motor mounts a year ago, but I bought the cheapest ones I could find. Shouldn't have done that. They completely failed. They were really, really bad. The wheel bearing, I think, went bad because about 2 months ago I was on the turnpike and blew my front left steer tire. The tire blew, and I think when it blew and the car was going nuts, that it completely destroyed the wheel bearing. So I was gonna need about a total of probably $2,000 more in parts over the next 12 months. So my wife finally put her foot down and said, babe, I'm sorry, but you have to get rid of this car. Folks, let me tell you something. I have been scared to death of this day for a long time, and I'll tell you why. Me being a car person, and a lot of you probably are too, I get extremely emotionally attached to my cars. And by emotionally attached, I mean, like, I literally broke down and was bawling my eyes out about my car. I told my dad, like, I bought the car October of 2012. I got married in December 2012, so I had the car even before I was married. I've been in that car almost every day for the last 7 years of my life. I have gotten extremely attached to it. I love that car. It has been, it's gotten way more mileage on it than I ever expected. It still gets 51, 52 miles per gallon on the highway in the summertime. At that age, it's mind blowing. So my wife told me I had to get a new car, so I did. This story's gonna get a little long, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it's gonna be. So the next day, so I had been looking casually at getting a Chevy Cruze just in the past couple months, knowing that this day would eventually come. And the reason I wanted to get a Chevy Cruze is because they're cheaper, they get decent fuel economy, and they still offer them in a manual. And I can still put car seats in the back seat for the kids comfortably. And I always wanted to bring back, well, not bring back, but I always wanted to have an all Chevy family. I have a Corvette, I have a Chevy Scottsdale pickup truck, I have our Equinox, and then I was going to get this Cruze. So I went online to a dealership that is very well known, a used car dealership, and found a 2012 silver Chevy Cruze 6-speed manual. And I'm like, that's exactly what I want. You guys know I won't buy an automatic. It had 81,000 miles on it. I called the dealership as soon as I saw it, and they said, actually, we just got it last night. It's been on the website for about an hour. I said, hold it. I will be there in a couple hours, and it's this afternoon. I want to look at it. Got there, looked at it, and to be honest, guys, I had zero excitement about the car, and I think a lot of that reason was I was not over my Jetta, and I knew it's going to take a long time to get over the Jetta. But I felt like it was meant to be because I've always wanted another 6-speed, and I wanted a Chevy. So I told the mechanic, the salesman, I said, I'll take it, I'll buy it. So I gave him all the information, everything was final. The next morning, my wife drove me to the dealership, picked up the car. On the way home, guys, I broke down in tears talking to my dad on the phone. I actually had to hang up because I was crying so hard. Just knowing that I was not going to have my Jetta anymore. I've told lots of people this. A lot of people think I'm crazy when I tell them that. They're like, it's just a car, but they don't understand because they're not car people. But I feel like I'm losing a best friend because that car has just been, it's been with me for 7 years. Next month, actually October 28th, will be 7 years since I bought the car. So, bought the Cruze, was driving home. Well, I actually drove to work then, and I worked the rest of the day. And on the way home from picking up the car, I noticed that there was like a really weird whining sound coming from the transmission. I'm like, what the heck is that? So I put it in neutral, and the sound goes away. If I push the clutch in, the sound goes away. I'm like, well, it has to be transmission related then, because it wouldn't be a wheel bearing, because wheel bearing would be making noise even if it was, just as long as it's spinning, the wheels. So I called the dealership right away and told them, hey, I'm hearing this sound, I don't know what it is, what should I do? Now, I forgot to tell you this, but the car did come with a 4-month, 3,500 mile warranty that covered all engine and transmission components. I'm like, great, it's awesome. So I called, I called the dealership, told them what was happening. They said, take it to your local Chevy dealer, have them diagnose it, they'll make a claim with the warranty company that we provide you with, they'll get everything paid for. Okay, I take the car to the dealership a couple of days later, because they couldn't get me in until then. And it ended up finding out that it needed a clutch, a throwout bearing, and a slave cylinder. And it was going to cost $900 to do all that. Plus, they had to do a wheel alignment after that to get it back in line. They had to do a few things that was going to cause that to need done. So it's going to be a little over $1,000 to fix the problem. I just spent $8,100 on the car, and the warranty didn't cover this because it's not an internally lubricated part. I was furious. I was not mad at the dealership per se. I was just mad that I just got this car. It's already been a very emotional thing for me to do anyways, and now the car that I bought to replace my Jetta is now causing me issues already. He said, I'm sorry about that. If you want us to, since you just got the car, we will pay to have it all fixed up for you. It's $1,000. We'll pay that, or you can bring it back. We'll give your money back for it. I was like, what? Because most used car dealerships won't do that, because once you buy a car, it's yours. I told him I had a very sick feeling in my gut about this car. I've already had issues with it. I know it's an issue that every car eventually has, but the fact that I just got it and that same day I was hearing noises, I just had a bad feeling. I said, I want to give it back. So I took it right back to the dealership a couple of days later, and I got my full refund. They gave me everything back. All I did was sign my name on this line. Every single penny I spent, I got back, except for the $167 that I had to spend at the Chevy dealer to have them diagnose the problem. That's the only money I didn't get it back, get back. And I told him, you know, if $170 is the only thing I'm losing out of a whole entire deal of a car, I'll accept that. So I told my wife, you know what, I love Chevys, always have, but I still really like TDIs. And before I started looking at the Cruzes a few months ago, I'd always told my wife, whenever this car dies, my next car will be a TDI. I know they stopped making TDIs in America for now, so I knew I couldn't get a new one, and I can't afford a new one. So I started looking at the older TDIs. Real quick story: a couple years ago, my best friend and I, we actually flew to Dallas, Texas, to pick up a TDI at a dealership there, and we drove it back to Pennsylvania. And he loved that car. It was a beautiful car, great color, everything. He loved it, no problem with it. So I was online on Cars.com and Car Gurus, mostly Cars.com, and I was looking through all the TDIs. I found a few of them in the area. I found one in New York, Maryland, Baltimore. There's a few in Pennsylvania, but a lot of them were just a little out of my price range. I was looking for something under 10 grand. And I found one in Baltimore, Maryland, not like in the city, but on the outskirts. And it was a color I really liked, a 6-speed manual. Called the place. They said there's nothing wrong with it. They had 100 point on inspection they do to the cars before they get rid of them. They told me all the things that they did replace on it. And the biggest seller to me was it came with a 120,000 mile warranty from Volkswagen. The car only had 62,000 miles on it. So I still have, you know, 59,000 miles of warranty left on it, which I was like, that's awesome. So I made an appointment for Friday morning, 2 days ago, to drive down with my dad to look at this Volkswagen. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I know this is my car. This is exactly what I need to help myself get over this emotional change with my other Jetta. I went over, opened the door, got in it, I sat down, I was like, Dad, this is exactly what I need. It was perfect. It has a black interior, which I love. I'm not a big fan of leather seats because they just get really hot and sweaty in the summertime, but it had leather seats. It has the stereo system, the Fender stereo system, the premium. It actually came with the premium package, which had the Fender system in it. 6-speed manual, had the little spoiler on the back. Only one blemish on the paint, which I wasn't real particular about anyways because it's my daily driver. The wheels aren't that great a shape, but I knew for an absolute 100% fact that this is exactly what I needed. And it was funny because I had so much excitement about this car. With the Cruze, I had zero. Like, even after I had it home, had it in the driveway, had put air freshener in it, kind of put my touches on it, I still was not excited at all about that Cruze. So Friday afternoon, I picked up the Jetta, got the warranty, and I gotta be honest with you guys, the warranty covers a ton of stuff. I didn't realize it was gonna cover that much, but it covers basically anything, like, at all. So I'll show you guys the car right now. I'm very excited about it. I took off the front license plate bracket because it looked hideous on the car. But here you guys go. This is my 2012 Volkswagen TDI with premium package. Right here she is. I don't know if you guys like this color or not. I do. I love it a lot. But there's really nothing wrong with the car at all, except for, I'll show you this one side where it was kind of, looks like they hit it with a pole or something on the side. Well, you guys can see this, but there's a little scratch here and here. It doesn't even, it goes over here, but it didn't go through the paint at all. But that is it. But as you can see, the wheels are kind of chewed up, and they're like that all the way around. But the trunk, it's nice how it actually has the button back here. My other Jetta didn't have the button, so I always had to like use the release inside the car. So this is nice that it has that. I love that about the car, and I love this little lip here. Not all of them come with this little lip, and as you guys can see, it is a TDI, which I love. In Maryland, they don't do state inspection like we do here. They inspect the car before it sells, and then they put this fake plate on until I get my actual plate from Pennsylvania. But the car is, I absolutely love it, guys. I'm so excited. It has a sunroof, which is not a seller for me. I could not care less if it had sunroof or not, because I don't need it. I like the roof coming off the car like the Corvette, but in this, I don't need that. But it came with it. My wife loves it. As you guys can see here, black interior, 6-speed manual. Comes with the Fender sound system over there. But the car is beautiful. I mean, it literally looks like it is brand new from the factory. Like, there is no blemishes on the interior at all. No scratches, no, not even like a little like smudge. There's nothing wrong with this interior at all. I can't believe it. Sunroof, as you can see up here, Like I just said, I got the car seats in the back for the kids. So I'm very happy. The AC in this thing blows super cold, which my Jetta's AC worked good, but it wasn't near that cold. So I love it because you guys know I hate warm weather. So yes, this is my new ride. I made it official last night. I put my dice on here. If you guys, I've never said about it before, but these dice my sister made for me whenever I got my very first Dodge Neon. My very first car was a 2007 Dodge Neon, and my sister made these for me. They're black and yellow because I'm a Steelers fan. Don't hate. And they've been in every car. This is the 4th car they've been in since I got them, so I'm very excited they were able to be in here. So yeah, guys, this is my new whip, as people call it. They put brand new tires on the car when they got it. Brand new tires, brand new rotors, brand new brake pads, brand new wiper blades, brand new oil filter, air filter, and cabin air filter. Also, this one does come with the black grille. A lot of them do not, but with the premium package, it came with that. It has the turning signals on the side. And there's a lot of things about this car that cars have had for years, but none of my cars ever did. So I'm like a kid in a candy store, because one thing I think is so cool about this is how you can put the windows down, all 4 windows down with the automatic. You just push it and it goes down, or you can just pull it and it automatically goes up. You don't gotta like sit there and hold a button. And the fact that all 4 do that is really cool for me. Has cruise control. The Chevy Cruze that I had did not have cruise control. What kind of Cruze doesn't have cruise control? Like, I could not believe that. My Corvette from '91 has that. My best friend's Beamer from '87 had that. This is getting windy out here, but I couldn't believe that my Cruze didn't have cruise control. So, in other words, guys, as you guys can probably tell from my smile, I'm sitting down. I am extremely happy about my new car. I drove it to Virginia yesterday. I put about I put 700 miles on it already since Friday. So yeah, that's my new car. I do still have the Jetta. The Jetta still runs great. There's nothing wrong with the engine or transmission except for the valve cover leaking. But as far as the engine, like I said, I still get 50 miles per gallon. Transmission, no sounds, runs great. It just needs, to pass inspection, it needed a wheel bearing, motor mounts, and one other thing, I can't think of what it was. Oh, and my exhaust pipe had a clamp that was missing, and that was it. The other stuff was stuff that was just gonna need, like next year was gonna need lower control arms in the back, a few other things here and there, but I don't know what to do with the car. I don't think anyone's gonna buy it because it has so many miles on it and it does not look very good, and it's got a lot of little issues here and there. But if anyone did want it, feel free to let me know. I'll give you a really good deal on it. 'Cause I hate to give it to a junkyard because it's not really junk. Like I said, if you could get those few things fixed, you can still take it on highway trips. I mean, I just had it on the highway on Thursday, doing 80 miles an hour up 81 for 25 minutes, no problems at all. It runs great, it does, but I just cannot afford to put any more money into it at all. So that's that story. My next story is depressing because there's something wrong with my 1991 C4 Corvette, as you guys all know that I have. And what do I mean by that? Well, 2 videos ago I told you that I was having electronic issues with the battery. I mean, the start, it wouldn't start, you know, that ended up being that little diode on the key. And one of the problems I told you that I had is when I pulled the key out of the ignition, the dash lights all stayed on like my key was still in. Well, after I made my last video and I pulled the car in the garage after filming, I pulled the key out and all the lights went off. But I guess the lights all came back on due to a malfunction after I closed the car and stuff, because I got in the car on Thursday to take it to work to show some people that wanted to see it and see my car. We had some guys visiting from South America that wanted to see it, so that's why I was going to take it. And the car was completely dead as a doorknob. Like, nothing would work. Battery was completely drained. So something is causing, it's a bunch of gremlins or something in there. I'm going to get the car out now and jump it, like, and see what I can show you guys, but it's a little depressing. What I was trying to tell you is, whenever I put my key, by the way, this black diode thing is what I was telling you guys about that needs to make connection as long as it's clean. But anyways, whenever I take the key out, like I turn it off, push the button, pull the key out, all the dash lights on the dash stay illuminated, like the key is still in there. So I'm thinking the ignition switch is bad. I've heard some people say that they replaced their ignition switch and it took care of the problem that they were having. So maybe that's it. I'm gonna jump the car now and get it started and then turn it off and see if we can get it to do that exact same thing so I can show you. We got the car started. As you can see, I jumped it with the Jetta. Real quick, totally off subject. I had a few people asking me how the tire letters are hanging up are lasting on my tire. Not the greatest, and I think the reason why is because, if you guys remember correctly, it was extremely humid that night. Like it was probably one of the most humid days of the year, and I think that the paint just wasn't able to adhere correctly to the rubber. So if I do it again, I think I will use the paint again, but I will do it inside in a climate controlled room. But as you guys can see here up close, you see how it's like real flaky, and it's like you can see little black dots everywhere. The red's not near as bad, but the white is definitely not that great. I'm gonna pull the car in now because if I turn it off, it won't start again, and I don't have time to mess with it today. I'm gonna pull the car back in and take the key out and see what it does, and see if it actually the lights go off or not. See if I can show you guys what I'm talking about. All right. So usually when I do this, of course, now it's not gonna do it. And I pull the key out. Yeah, see, now it's not doing it. Everything's staying off, which is weird. Well, the security light is still flashing though. That shouldn't be doing that, right? Yeah, I don't think that security light's supposed to be flashing. Dad, I think the security light's what's causing it. It keeps flashing. Let me know if that's normal, guys. I don't think that is, for that security light to keep flashing. I think that's probably what happened last time. That was flashing the whole time, which caused the battery to die because it sat here for like 3 weeks. I'm thinking the ignition's gonna be replaced, and I want to get that. There's a switch you can buy to deactivate the VAT system, the security system in these cars, and this way I don't have to worry about any of that anyways. I think that's what's gonna have to happen. I hope you guys can see me. It's kind of dark in here. I'm in the garage, but I think that's the problem. So anyways, folks, so not only is my old Jetta getting ready to say goodbye, which by the way, that you'll probably see that car again on video because I do still have it. The Corvette has got issues. I got to figure out what the heck I think's problem is, and my 1989 Scottsdale that I have that you guys have all seen, I'm sure. I got some kind of an antifreeze leak somewhere. I cannot figure out where it is. It must be internal because we've done a lot of testing. We did pressure testing when the engine was hot, pressure testing when it was cold, and we're losing antifreeze, and there's no leaks exterior, so it has to be interior. The only thing that's weird is we're not getting any kind of white smoke, or we're not getting any kind of like white sludge in the oil. The oil is real clean, so I don't know what his problem is. In conclusion, I'm just really honestly sick and tired of owning old cars. They're a lot of fun to have, and I love them, and I've had my Corvette for a little over 10 years now, but it's getting to the point where I just don't really enjoy having to maintain them. I'm not getting rid of the Corvette in case any of you guys are wanting. Not happening. Just it just gets to a point where it's a little annoying. And that's one bummer about this whole YouTube thing, is like now that I am finally monetized, thanks to you guys, I can't thank you guys enough. I got my very first YouTube paycheck last week, and it's super exciting. And of course, last week's when I had to go and get another car. So most of that YouTube money is going to be going towards that stupid loan, unfortunately. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are glad to see me back, because I know it's been a while, and I gave you guys some updates. Have any questions, let me know. If you guys have any help you can give me, please let me know about the whole security thing and stuff. So anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you did not like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Take care now. See you later. Bye.